everybody. This is Lee Aaron, and you're watching CMS TV.
Perfect. All right, let's move forward here. Well, that's enough beating down on Ace, don't you think? Let's go to another band that you like. Guns N' Roses.
Oh, I like them. Axl or something.
You like them? Nothing bad. Not even bad performance. But
okay.
So, a story came out today.
Okay, yeah.
That Axl or Joe Rogan was in Rome or somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Greece.
he ran into Axl at some restaurant or something. Just chance meeting, I guess, you know. He ran into Axl Rose. And nothing crazy about the story or anything. This might take 1 minute, but I just saw this. I was like, what the fuck? Did you happen to see the picture?
I knew exactly where you were going, yes, and I thought the same thing you did. Joe Rogan is like all excited, like, I met Axl, nicest guy ever. And pull up the picture, like, let's see if Axl looks like he's into this.
Axl looks like, why are you bothering my dinner, you fuck?
Yes. It's like,
Axl's like, fine, take the fucking picture.
I know. Oh my! I had the same reaction when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, Axl could not give a fuck less.
It's like he's not intimidated by Joe Rogan. He's Axl Rose. He's one of the biggest fucking celebrities in the world. So to him it's just another dick fan with his arm on him.
Right?
You know, I'm sure that's what it is. He's probably just just trying to have some dinner with his chick, and this fucking bald-headed fucking douchebag, this Spotify star, is coming up to glom onto him. I'm sure that's how he looks at him too. Don't you think?
Yeah.
This social media guy.
Yeah, podcaster guy.
Yeah, this podcaster wants to. I guess he doesn't know that I don't do podcasts.
Yeah, when you mentioned Guns N' Roses, I thought it was going to be either this or the Richard Fortus Nuno Bettencourt story. So,
well, we could talk about that one too, because fucking once again, Nuno Bettencourt comes off like the absolute cock that he has proven to me to be. He is an asshole.
Yeah, oh my God, he did that awesome interview recently with Rick Beato. It's on YouTube, and I loved it. It's fantastic. But this whole thing, talk about blowing it out of proportion. Oh my God.
Well, he's a douche anyway. And for those that haven't heard my Nuno Bettencourt story, I will tell it again, because I have no problem running down guys that are assholes. I have no problem reminding people. This was, holy shit, probably 2001, I guess. So 20 years ago, 20 whatever years ago. But fucking, remember the DeMarco brothers in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Freddie and Johnny DeMarco?
Yeah.
For people that don't remember the DeMarco brothers, which is probably most that are listening, they were two local guys that were absolute virtuoso guitar player guys. Cleveland's had a few. Neil Zaza comes to mind as well.
Yep.
Neil Zaza is probably the most famous of the virtuoso guitar guys to come out of Cleveland.
Isn't Paul Shortino, or is he a guitar? Like,
He's a singer.
Who's the dude with Taylor Swift? Isn't some guitar player with Taylor Swift out of Cleveland as well?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh. Well, in either
Don't know
case,
much about
you're not
Taylor
wrong.
Swift.
Neil Zaza and the DeMarco brothers. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, the DeMarco brothers were these two great guitar players. And when I started my music magazine, Music's Bottom Line, way back at the beginning, I was partnered in it with a guy named Scotty Campana. And Scotty and I started Music's Bottom Line again. Scotty was the money. I was the everything else, basically. And Scotty had a recording studio that he built, and he had a marketing company that he built, and he was trying to get into the rock world, but he had no idea in the rock world. It was funny. His record company had Gerald Levert on it, and like all these R&B guys. Like I met a ton of famous R&B guys because the original Music's Bottom Line studio was out in Lorraine. That's where the office was. It was the recording studio, and I had my own office in the recording studio. So I was constantly, hey, there's Luther Vandross's tech, or whatever. I was constantly meeting R&B guys, which was cool. I for me it was great. But he was trying to get into the rock world. So one of the bands that he signed was Freddie and Johnny DeMarco. And my job was to kind of help guide them a little bit. So I don't remember if I got them on this show or maybe I made a phone call, but they got on the show. But Nuno had a solo record called Schizophonic or it might have been Schizophrenic or Schizophonic or something. Mm-hmm. He had this solo record that came out, and he was on tour playing at the Odeon. And so I don't remember if it was me or if the DeMarcos, but I was there. I was there in a quote unquote sort of management capacity. Not really the manager, because I wasn't collecting checks or anything, but I was Scotty's guy that was there. And you remember this, but people won't. The way the Odeon was set up was you have a stage, and then on stage right, as you're facing the stage, there's steps that go up. And up, you go up those steps, and right there's like a little, like the artist green room.
Yeah. But
it's the only green room that they have. The only other place where they used to make the local bands go was downstairs into that little. It was like a closet.
It's where all the
equipment.
Gear, put your drum cases and guitar cases and shit down there. Yeah.
And if you were a local band, you got to stand next to everybody's drum boxes and stuff. That was that was your green room. So, in any event, this show was just the DeMarcos and Nuno. So while the DeMarcos were on, I was standing on the steps, like not on the stage, but there's no off stage to this place. You're either on stage or you're on stairs going up or down. That's it. There's no like enough side stage or curtain or anything to block this off. So I was standing on the steps, like up the steps high enough so that I wasn't in like frame if people were watching the set. So Nuno comes out and he just comes walking down the steps and he like fucking pushes me. And he's like, "Get out of the fucking way." And back then, angry Chris wasn't putting up with that kind of shit. And I literally turned on him. I was like, "What did you fucking say?" I just snapped. And he's like, "Get out of the fucking way." And then me and him started yelling at each other. And I was like, dude, fuck you, man. And I just got right up in his face and was just fucking, fuck you, you dickhead. And I mean, no punches were thrown or nothing. No even pushing or anything like that was done. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm some badass and I kicked Nuno's ass or whatever. It wasn't like that. It was just he got shitty with me. I got shitty with him right back type of a thing.
Right.
But I never forgave it. And it's a shame for me because I absolutely love his playing. I'm a big fan of Extreme, but I've never gone back to see anything that they've done again because I fucking can't stand Nuno.
Yeah.
So, and I've talked to numerous musicians that know him that have said that he's a first-class dickhead. So that is what I've heard about Nuno Bettencourt.
That does not surprise me.
So seeing this story here this week did not shock me at all. I mean, what a douche. I'll put it up on the screen here.
Yeah.
I mean, here it is. Nuno Bettencourt responds to Richard Fortus over Slash comments. Now, here's the thing. Richard Fortus was Nuno before Nuno with Rihanna, right? He was Rihanna's guitar player.
Yeah.
He's also been the guitar player for Guns N' Roses for how long? 20 years?
Yeah.
He's not a hack. Let's just put it to that level. Is he a great guitar player? I don't know. I'm going to assume He probably is. Do you think that's a fair assumption?
Well, if you're doing Rihanna and Guns N' Roses, you've obviously got clout enough to get to the most high-profile gigs on the planet, so you've got to know what you're doing. We'll just phrase it that way.
Yeah. You don't see CeCe DeVille getting this gig.
Right.
That's my point. You only see guys that can really, really play. This is the kind of work that guys that may not be super famous, but are known to be super good, like a Monty Pittman. Monty Pittman is a great guitar player that a lot of people don't know. Not the most energetic interview in the world. Holy smokes. But a great player. And obviously he plays for Madonna and whatnot. And Nuno's a great player. I don't want to say nothing bad about the guy's playing. The guy is a fucking... In that time period, he was near the top. He wasn't in the Eddie Van Halen camp, but he was right there with the George Lynch camp. However far down you put that.
And right now with that new Extreme album, that's all any guitar players are talking about.
Yeah, it's great.
I know all my guitar buddies are like, holy shit, Nuno on the new fucking Extreme record is incredible. That Rise solo that he did is just like, oh my god. So
yeah, I mean he's a great player, but he's a monumental cock.
Yeah,
and he comes off as a monumental cock in this thing. So let me see, how does this play out in this thing? In a recent interview with Planet Rock, the Extreme guitarist opined that many of the guitar players he looks up to, including Slash, would not be able to handle the musical diversity of a Rihanna concert. Stop. Just stop. You're going to tell me Slash couldn't do this?
I understood what he was kind of saying. Because there's a lot of diversity, and some guys stylistically, there is a difference between just being able to play notes and playing them properly with the right feel for that genre. So I understood where he was coming from with that.
You do remember that Slash almost got the Poison gig.
Okay, now wait a minute. That's not exactly like high praise, dude. Come on.
No, I know, but I'm not saying it's high praise. What I'm saying is it's completely different sound than Guns N' Roses. Stylistically different.
Dude, I can play a lot of the Poison shit, so let that tell you.
What I'm saying is there's nobody comparing Poison to Guns N' Roses guitar wise.
Yeah, but I mean he says it right here. He says when somebody like Rihanna reaches out to you to perform, everybody thinks, "Oh, that's cute. It's a pop artist, whatever." Let me tell you something. What I had to do night after night, put on a reggae hat for one song with a reggae feel, go into R&B, then go into some punk rock and pop rock that she did, and then club tracks, all sorts of things, all those different feels. I'm sorry, most of the guitar players who I admire could not in their lifetime play that gig. I mean that in the most complimentary way possible. So yeah, I mean what he's talking about is it's a very big jump. So you're talking about a rock band to a rock band, but what he's talking about is going from like playing like Dirty Heads to fucking Guns N' Roses or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so and I understand.
And here's where I'm going to say he's full of shit. There's a little band out there that everybody's aware of that takes the most heavy guitar players and turns them into playing all kinds of different stuff. TSO.
Not the same. It's still all
it's rock. It's very similar. Have you seen TSO?
Yes.
The actual Christmas part of it is not all the same.
Okay,
the rock parts are, but when they're doing the dude coming out and doing the bit with the snow and stuff, that's like contemporary AOR music.
I mean, okay, it's close, but I think for the examples he's giving, like using reggae and club music up against like thrash, like what he's saying is more extreme than what you are. I mean, I get where
agree.
You're going.
I agree.
I get where you're going.
But this dude needs to shut the fuck up is really what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't care about that you can play a reggae solo. You're not that fucking special. You're not. There's a reason that Slash is Slash and you're fucking playing side gigs when your main band is broken up for 10 years at a time.
Right.
Well, there's a reason.
And the thing of it is, like, the main point about this whole thing is that, he goes and says this, and no matter whether you agree immediately saying Slash could totally do it. Okay, maybe he can, maybe he can't. But the whole thing is like this whole beef now. It's only on Nuno's side. Richard Fortus comments back in the most like it's such a. I mean, it's unbelievable. He says, I have to respectfully. This is Richard Fortus responding to Bettencourt, saying that like no offense to Slash, like he Slash is one of the greatest rock guitar players of all time, but I guarantee, and he'd be the first to tell you that if he jumps up and he's got to play a clean intro to "Rude Boy" from Rihanna, it ain't happening. And then Richard Fortus just kind of tweeted out or something. He says, I have to respectfully disagree. Nuno Bettencourt is one of the greats for sure. However, there's very little Slash couldn't do on guitar if he wanted to. I toured with Rihanna prior to Nuno, and I've spent a lot of time playing with Slash. This gig would not be a struggle for him. And
this is a guy that's done, and let's break it down.
Yep.
This is a guy that has done the Nuno gig and watches Slash play every night for 20 years.
Yeah.
This guy, come on. He certainly knows more than stupid-ass Nuno,
well,
at best got to fucking play a gig in front of Slash and then run out to the side stage to watch him play.
Yeah, right. And not only that, but like, Richard Fortus's response was polite. It was just it was like, oh, I get what you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, but yeah, dude, I know Slash and he could do it. That's literally all he was saying.
Yeah.
And Nuno just puts this guy on complete unnecessary blast.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll let you read.
Right. So, I knew this was eventually coming. You can't be blessed and be on multiple guitar magazine covers at a shocking 56 years old, get this much attention for your playing a new album as a rock guitarist without another guitarist stirring up some shit. Let's just take that right there. Stop stroking yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's that right there. I'm on guitar covers. I get all this attention from my playing, and that means other people are going to stir up shit. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, you don't.
You're still the guitar player for Extreme, dude. You're not Joe Perry. I know you're friends with Joe Perry, but you ain't Joe Perry.
The ego is just crazy. That's the first thing I noticed.
George Lynch gets put on a whole bunch of fucking guitar magazine covers as well. And George Lynch is a better player than Nuno Bettencourt.
Well, and Nuno Bettencourt's idol is Eddie Van Halen. It's like, take some fucking notes. Eddie never walked out there with his dick in his hand. It's like, just stop it.
Unbelievable.
So he says, I'm responding to this not because I give a shit about what this guitarist thinks about me, but instead...
Except that you're responding to it, so you do give a shit. But go ahead.
But instead, because I'd hate to think my few words offended a hero of mine, Slash, and possibly fuck up my relationship with him. Richard Fortus, I've respectively never heard you play one note in my 56 years of being alive, and only know your name from the Rihanna camp and as a replacement player in Guns. I'm sure you're a decent player, but did you really need to repost a headline that made me look like I am bad-mouthing a fellow player, Slash? As if I'd ever think Slash isn't capable of playing any Rihanna song in his sleep. Then why did you say it wasn't?
Yeah, you said it.
You're completely going against what you fucking said.
And I'm going to call into question, I'm going to go backwards here. I'm going to call into question that he's never heard him play a note in his life. Because you're going to tell me that when Rihanna was bringing him in, they didn't hand him all the Richard Fortus tapes and say, here, play this?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well,
Shut up.
And if you're such a big Slash fan and shit, you're going to tell me you haven't gone to a Guns N' Roses show and seen it?
Yeah.
You haven't seen Richard Fortus? Like, that's bullshit.
Nice fandom, dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. So he says, let's get something fucking straight. To me, Slash is one of the greatest rock guitarists of my generation and of all time, period. And Richard Fortus, if you knew me at all and where my heart is, you'd know that what I meant in this statement was not about Slash or his capability. It was about rock guitarists like myself or Slash switching genres and the awkwardness of playing these feels. No shit Slash can play these songs. Thank you so much for pointing that out, as if we didn't already know that.
You said he couldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Dude, scroll back up. We'll read that again. Like when he said,
where's it at?
Keep going a little further. Yeah, so it says, Slash is one of the greatest rock guitar players of all time, but I guarantee, And he'd be the first to tell you that if he jumps up and he's got to play a clean intro to Rude Boy from Rihanna, it ain't happening. He says right there, if Slash
He
had to
can't
play
do it.
that Rihanna, he can't do it. So scroll back down, and he
Yeah,
denies
and
it
then
twice.
down here
like,
he says, I didn't say that.
yeah. He says, no shit, Slash can play these songs. Thank you so much for pointing that out, as if we didn't already know that. But for me, as a predominant rock guitarist,
Shut up.
I'm obviously not as talented as you, and found it a challenge to nail all the different pockets and guitar tones of genres like reggae, R&B, electric dance, trap, and pop. It's okay. So he continues. It's like, as far as you shining a light on my ridiculous statement that Slash would struggle, yes, a poor word choice on my part. I personally would hope that Slash, who is a peer in influence, would be more mature enough to understand what I truly meant as a guitarist by that comment. Why do you keep digging on this guy? All he said was, hey, man, I disagree. Slash could do it. That's literally all he fucking said.
That's all he said. Yeah. He didn't say, and you're a piece of shit. I did, but he didn't. Fortus didn't say nothing to warrant this fucking ridiculous nonsense here.
No. I mean, in mentioning Slash as an iconic rock example, I meant in general a rock guitarist would find it not a struggle, but feel like a fish out of water as a player. That's all I meant. I've had nothing but respect and admiration for Guns N' Roses and Slash. Okay, well, look, man. Yeah, apologies if I've unintentionally offended anybody. Well, you didn't offend anybody. You just acted like a complete dick.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw the headline, Richard Fortus or Nuno Bettencourt responds to Richard Fortus or something, I was like, did Richard Fortus like absolutely slag Nuno Bettencourt? What the hell happened here? And then I read it, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
And even more to the point, Richard Fortus has been in the limelight for 20 years. Have you ever read a Richard Fortus fucking article?
No.
Never. I mean, This is not a shit stir guy.
No.
He's not. I mean, he's been in Guns N' Roses, a band known for stirring shit. And you haven't heard peep one out of this guy in 2 decades.
Right.
2 fucking decades. And he says one thing, mildly as could be. I respectfully disagree. What a dick.
Yeah. I mean, all he has to do is come out and go, you know what, dude? Yeah, if it sounded like I was ripping Slash, I apologize. I just meant that as a rock guitar player. He admits, he says he's predominantly a rock guitar player. He says, as a rock guy, it's just difficult to go from genre to genre. That's all I meant. If you took offense, I meant Slash. My bad. That's all you have to say. Like,
how
what
about
is all this other shit?
I think that's too much that he has to say. Know what he really had to say? Nothing. Because all Fortus said was, respectfully, I don't agree with you. Okay, end. Somebody saying they respectfully don't agree with you does not require 4 paragraphs about why this guy was a poser in your current boss's band, and this guy couldn't play as well as you, and you're just trying to create a wedge between me and my pal, and fuck you. On every level, fuck you.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah, it was so needless.
It was pointless. And I hate it. You know why I hate it? Because I don't know everybody in that band, because I don't know who the drummer is anymore. But I've interviewed Gary several times. Nicest fucking guy in the world.
Yep.
I've interviewed Pat Badger. I interviewed Pat Badger not even that long ago during the pandemic. Nicest guy in the world. In fact, he was doing interviews. He ran out of time and said to me at the end, he's like, do you want me to call you back in like an hour or so? We could do some more. Because he was he's just like a nice guy. And I mean, so I guess in every band there's one cocksucker, and
right.
Apparently that might be Nuno. I don't know.
What do you mean apparently might be?
Well, got to say that to keep it legal here.
Well, allegedly.
Yeah. In my opinion, a fucking asshole dickhead. I mean, look at this fucking response. Are you fucking kidding me?
That is so pointless.
Are you?
Look, I'm sure you're a decent player. Shut up.
Shut up.
That the veiled digs are just so poorly veiled.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fresh out of fucking rock and roll band camp, dummy. He graduated yesterday.
Yeah.
from rock and roll. What do they call that? Rock and roll. Is that rock and roll band
fantasy camp? And
fantasy
stuff like,
camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he graduated from his job working at the pharmacy.
He's got his Mel Bay guitar theory books
Yeah.
under his arms. He's running into the Guns gig, like tripping over his own shoelaces.
Yeah.
I'm here.
He's grabbing his $200 Epiphone, his only guitar he owns. Let me get up here. Yeah,
It's tuned like the Ace Frehley guitars.
exactly. Holy smokes, what a dick.
Oh, God, so fucking pointless.
And no offense, but anytime you sign your name with just a letter, you're an asshole.
Yeah, right?
That too. Signed N. You know an N? F-U.
Yeah. You can't,
That's fun.
can't be bothered to type those other 3 letters, can you?
Yeah.
Fingers a little sore from all that guitar wizardry, pal.
That's from all this typing.
Right? He just ran out of strength.
What a cheese dick fuck. Allegedly. All right, and on that fun note, that is going to do it. Believe it or not, that was a quick 2 fucking hours. This is a lot quicker than the CMS, isn't it?
Yes.
You start, you're done.
Exactly. Well, it helps having almost an hour with Ricky Rackman to begin the whole thing.
Yeah,
So.
made it easy. So, all right, well, we are done. Tune in next week. Eric will be back. We will have Bruce Sisk, who has a charity that is coming on, and he's a friend of Eric's, so we will talk to him. He knows a lot of people. We will get a lot of rock stories from that. For those of you that follow along with Chris Akin Presents, the release at midnight tonight in 2 short hours will be the one and only Mr. Jeff Scott Soto. Did a fun interview with him, talking much stuff about much stuff. So he's always fun. Wednesday on Seth Williams' show, we will have CJ Pierce from Drowning Pool will be on the show. So Thursday I will be with just never stops. Yep. Thursday, John and I will be back again on Talking Into Infinity, a Dream Theater centric podcast. Talking a little bit of Vulgar Display of Power, doing a deep dive into that. Friday, John will for sure. I may or may not be at Pantera in Pittsburgh.
It's Burgettstown, goddammit. I hate Pittsburgh.
And let's see, Saturday I will be back on the CMS. For sure, I would think. And then Monday we start all over again. Oh my God.
This is what you wanted. Be careful what
It
you wish
is.
for.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I'm making a living doing music, so I'm not complaining, but I will say I'm tired. But anyway, that is going to do it for us. So, for Chris Akin Presents, I am Chris Akin.
I'm Jon Drake from Talking Into Infinity, a Dream Theater centric podcast.
And we are done. See ya.